and like, you know, because he's actually like really big in underground rap. Chris Rivers had dropped the song, and the song was about domestic violence. And in the song, he talks about watching his father beat on his mother and how that changed him and made him develop as a man, right? Now, my thing is, I feel like if your average artist, rapper, R&B, whatever the case may be, were to talk about that, which is something that realistically you don't hear about shit like that in music unless you're talking about like country music or something like that. People would be like, "Oh my God, that's so brave!" Like, you know, he's tackling a major issue and yada yada. People don't speak about shit like this. He got a lot of limelight, right? But because he's Big Pun's son, he got attacked by everybody that worked with Big Pun. He got attacked by Fat Joe. He got attacked by fucking Grand not Grandmaster Flash, Funk Master Flex. Like mad celebrities came out of like the whole reason it ended up in the mainstream is because everybody was diving on this nigga and saying like, "Yo, you only want to use your father's name in order to fucking get some type of fame." And he was like, "Bro, I'm not even on that type of shit. I'm just talking about my life. Like rap is supposed to be about reality, right? Music is supposed to be expression. I'm expressing myself. I don't understand why everybody's on my dick like that." It was actually to the point where like people have asked Fat Joe like, "Yo, like why don't you put Chris Rivers on? Because he's dope like that." And Joe's like, "Nah, I don't want nothing to do with that nigga." You know what I'm saying? But my thing is that like if you think about that and then you look at like Bruno Mars's catalog, it's a lot harder to push out that level of vibe slash experience slash like just the way he expresses himself if you're automatically a Jackson. Because off rip, you're going to be compared to, at the very least, Michael. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it actually makes a lot of sense to sit here and say, like, fuck it, I don't want that type of shit. I don't want to live under that umbrella. I just want to fucking do my own thing. And hey, my name is Bruno Mars. I'm from Hawaii. Blah blah blah. Blah. Like, cause what type of name is Bruno Mars? Who the fuck? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that just sounds like a stage name off rip.
I mean, it is a stage name, is it?
I don't know. But either way, like you get what I'm saying? Like it just sounds like it just fits in my head. I feel like he's a Jackson. I feel like he's a Jackson, and instead of acknowledging it, he's just outright like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna just be over here. I'm gonna do my thing." And then when he's no longer making albums and he's like 50 something years old, damn near about to retire, he's just like, "Hey, yeah, my uncle's making, my aunt's Janet." Because think about how many Jacksons, like in the Jackson 5, how many, well, there was the Jackson 5 plus like LaToya and Janet. So that's 7 siblings right there that can have kids.
True.
And he also resembles Michael's kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a strong family resemblance there. Like, you don't have to, like, put yourself on the mainstream. Not to mention, especially if you got access to fucking, you know, well, Michael, I think, was dead by the time his career took off. But if you got access to, like, the Jackson family, like, if you got access to Janet alone, you can sit here and have this conversation of, like, yeah, here's where we went wrong. Here's where we went right. Here's the type of shit you need to know about the business. Like, it's an inside track because Bruno took off immediately. He did one hit single and we never stopped hearing from this nigga. Which, realistically, the only other time we can outright say that is pretty much with the Jacksons. Since Elvis. I think that nigga's a Jackson.
It's not.
I love these conversations.
It's not
That's all I want
far-fetched,
to say.
but it's definitely something that like would take looking into.
It would take a lot of
Where
looking
did you
into.
come from? Who your mama? My
Word,
mama
like. Deceiver!
The moment he starts talking, well, my daddy is. We don't give a fuck who's your uncle. Who's your uncle?
Yo,
Answer me these questions.
I dead ass think that nigga's a Jackson, yo.
If he was, bro, that would change a lot.
And then, like, also contributing to that whole reason you would want to, like, change your name, right? Like, if you look at Janet Jackson, like, when we were young and Janet Jackson was in, like, the prime of her career, she started sexualizing herself, right? But off rip, like, bearing in mind, this is her career, You know, she's been in the limelight the whole time, but because she used to be Penny on Good Times, because she was the youngest Jackson, because blah 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 blah, people were dogging the shit out of her just for basically sitting here saying like, "Hey, I'm a grown ass woman." Same way, like as Beyonce started getting more and so on that aspect of just like what was that, drunken love and all of that shit. People were dogging her too for
Drunk
changing
in
her content.
love.
You know what I'm saying? But the reality of the situation is that like, hey, yeah, I used to have this image, but that's not the entirety of who I am. It's something a lot of people struggle with. But if Bruno Mars just came out and was just like, yeah, I'm everybody's sweetheart, but I'll still be fucking bitches. Like you can't argue with it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
You're right.
like yo, you can move however the fuck you want if you're starting from scratch. But if you got somebody else's name, like, even better. Like, Ro, this nigga looks like a Jackson, and it never left, yo. Like, ever since then, I'll be like, yo, it just makes too much sense. He's a fucking Jackson. That nigga is Bruno Jackson.
Bruno Jackson. Da 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 da. Bruno Jackson. The hell is this?